Alright, this is the beginning of my data scientist role. This is my interview. So I'm going to meet with Farah, the tech lead of Omnilytics. Never had. This is company at PJ and it's on site. No, it's online. So all the work will be online. This is a really good company. I say it's a small startup but very fun to work, I'm sure, because they're not really strict, based on the HR at least. Alright, let's get in. Let's see, make sure my account is in. Alright, check my voice. Can I check my voice? Okay, you see that moving on the left, that's working. Camera is working too. Okay, maybe lower down the camera, show my dress a bit. Not dress, it's a suit. Okay, I think it's okay, good. Okay, 5 minutes ago. Always come in 5 minutes earlier. Oh, my back. Mm. Okay, wear the glasses. You look smart, but if it's a girl, maybe without the glasses you can charm her. But since this is for a job, I'm sure the glasses. Trust me, I'm an engineer. Okay, sit up straight. Vote for me for the President of the United States. Because I can. Because I got a suit, you see. Is enough. Okay, saying it. That's not good. Okay. Oh, that's ugly as fuck. Oh, shit. I don't think. No. Ugh. Get in there. Okay, that looks good. Alright, here we go. 151. Prepping. Move, because in the meeting later into the interview you're not supposed to move that much. So okay, sit up straight. Okay, that doesn't look cool. Okay, now trust me, I'm a professional. Okay, I think I can join now 8 minutes earlier. Show that you're like a good guy. Make sure the mic is close. Yeah. Alright, let's just check OBS again. Alright, the mic is just about there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm not gonna shout, so this is good enough. Alright, joining. Who's inside? Show everyone, no one's around. I'm too early, but this is Google Meets. It's always like this. Okay, take down my. Okay. Wow, that looks horrible. Why is it so ugly? It's horrible. That's not HD. I don't mind. Good enough. Okay. Where could it be? Okay, check back. Okay, I'm supposed to do a test before this, so they're probably gonna ask me about the test I did. So this is my omnilytic test. So open my main.iv, the notebook. I totally forgot what I did before, so check back a little bit. What did I use? The SARIMA model. Better shut up. Okay, what is SARIMA used for? SARIMA is seasonal autoregressive moving average. Is SARIMA or ARIMA. Autoregressive is for predicting. So I kind of technically just applied the things on the data set here. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let's hope they come in 2 minutes. I sure hope so, because they say here it's Wednesday 30th March. Today is Wednesday 30th March of 2022, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Now it's 1:55. Eddy is the HR guy, and Farah, Miss Farah, because she's the lead data scientist. I'm not sure how old is she, but I'll just call her Miss Farah out of respect. Okay, let's hope for the best. No one in currently. We got 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in. Still 4 minutes in. I already pressed yes. So, Farah and James. Oh, yeah, we're waiting for James, but Farah has already applied. Farah? Okay, that is Farah. Okay, she is... Yeah, I think she's 40-ish. Yeah, senior, totally. Okay. Arrange interview session with Farah, lead data scientist. Okay, ability to role, company culture. Feel free to ask. Curiosity. All the best, Eddy. Okay. Eddy's a very nice guy. HR. We talked about 15 minutes, and then she got me to do a test, and now I'm at the last part where Farah is going to be my technical interviewer. So, okay, let's hope this goes well. I'm asking for at least 4,000. Since it's all online, that's a good thing.
Hello, Amirul.
Hello.
Hi, okay. Can we get started?
Yeah, we can.
All right. Okay, let's have a look at, just some preamp. I might have some background noise, so on and off, I will mute the mic, and then because I've also got like workers coming
It's alright.
in, so yeah, this is the hazards of work from home. So anyway, we'll get started. Okay, having a look at how do you go with the data science challenge?
Yeah, I've done it. It's like this. You see, this is actually my like second time doing it. This type of time series job, but I managed to complete it by following like the best practices that I can find so far. So it's not really my best field of AI to do work, but that's what I've managed.
Okay, right, and can you talk through some of your submission?
Okay. So
So I will. You can share your screen if you want
okay.
to, and
Okay, let me open it first. Can you see it?
yeah. Okay, so for the first part, where you were asked to determine which one had the best performance,
Mm-hmm.
uh, can you talk me through, your rationale for that? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? What were the steps that you took
Okay.
to complete part one?
Sorry. Wait. Okay. Let me open it. It's loading. It was. Oh, here. Okay. So, because I'm not really an expert in this field of data analytics, but what I have found was that um, we want to find the best performance between all the other tops, right? Three different tops. So what I found out is was like first I have this. It's a bit vague, the idea. So I'm not sure what is meant by performance. Is it like the total sales, or is it based on past events? So what I did was I first calculated the previous 12 months total sales first and get the mean. So it's like you can. So I want to compare the previous 12 months and this and the current 12 months. So it's like so it's a better average there. So that's why I mean what I believe that it should be compared, because if we were to take just the first the first day and then the final day, so it's like we'll just calculate, let's say right now on the top here it's like no, it's not much changes, no increments, not much increments, and we would miss the events in the middle. So I chose to calculate the previous 12 months mean, the average sales, then compared to this the current 12 months. So then it will be like a better rational to compare the performance. So from the previous 12 months and the current 12 months.
Okay, so when you were looking at the data, uh, what was your interpretation of what you think the data was? What do you think is the data that we have given you?
First, this is the sales of the tops, the types of tops. So the first thing I would do is first I download it and then open it. That's why there's a load and preview warm up thing. So I need to understand the data first. So over here, all I found is historical data about the sales of tops. There are three types of tops, and what I found out that was there's a certain top that is seasonal, because only at certain months it will be more getting higher sales. So it's like so that's like a seasonal pattern. And then the other two is like this one might have some seasonal effects but not as much as the second one. So and then there's the one that has no seasonal effects, so maybe that's a type of top that people will wear every day and not seasonal maybe.
Okay. So, in terms of your EDA, you had looked at the last 12 months, the 2017 and the 2016 performance.
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right. Then going back to uh, part one, all right, because we were looking for actually Python classes. So that would be my question. Have you
Yes.
worked with OOP before?
Yeah, this uh, what kind OOP. Sorry, I'm not really custom with the names, but what I believe is like you define these functions so that you can reuse it later. Is it not?
That's the general idea. That is for functions. Um, but if I give you 1 or 2 minutes to check out what is classes in Python, then I will ask you again.
No classes in Python.
Yes.
Um, classes in Python. So I'm not really sure. There's either two, it's either classes in Python or functions. This OOP, is it not the things that we have like it's like structs, right? C. If it's in C, it's called structs. So it's like you can collect the uh, components
It's a
within it. Is it not?
it's similar to this object-oriented programming.
Ah,
So the idea is that you create your class structure, and then you create instances of the class. So within the class, then you would have your various methods or properties or attributes that belong
yes.
to that class. So uh, specifically, actually, in this instance, it required you to write a class that will include this
Oh,
definition,
oh, I
this
understand. It's like
function as one of the methods of the class. But
okay.
yeah, it's okay. I get that you did. So this is as opposed to functional programming, whereby the scripts run just by functions,
Yes.
right? So when you do OP, then it enables you to import modules and make use of classes and
Uh,
objects and instances.
I understand that too, because I used to have this in Laravel we have like models, and then we can call using this. It's like, so inside, like, let's say the class will have the functions. It's like encapsulated.
Yes,
So
that's
it's
right.
like, and then you can call this equals to the current object, and then call the function within the object. So it's encapsulated, correct?
Yes. So in Python it's similar, but in Python is the concept of the self. So when you have a class, then you instantiate it with self, and then you can call the various methods to apply to that class instance. Okay. Moving on to your second part, which was where you were required to evaluate the three different fits,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
okay, as well as to create your own prediction model. So, can you go through the process that you had done for that?
So second part would be this one for the prediction rate. So first, you asked for us to like first evaluate the prediction from these three models that you have produced. That is fit 1, fit 2, and fit 3. And then, so what I did was I just compared it to the actual performance. So it's like, is there some kind of this is observational only, based on the trends. Is it like following the previous or not? It's like, how far is it from the previous year's performance? Because this is the predicted ones, right?
Yes,
So
that's
it
right.
should have the seasonal effects in this orange one T2. So I assume the best ones is we should know where it is also affecting from seasonal objects. Like this one has this fit 2. I did say fit 2 is the best because it follows the seasonal effects on the sales. So if you were to choose the fit 1, you might miss out on the seasonal effects. So we might lose some insights there, because we know at October there's a sudden drop in sales.
Okay. So, with regards to that, your conclusion of the three
Oh,
fits.
so the fit is 3. So it's like the most that we can see following the trend is mostly the fit 3, because it resembles the seasonal effects.
Okay.
And then my creating my own prediction model. So honestly, I have no prior experience in this, but
Okay.
this is my attempt on how to predict time series. So what I
Okay.
did was I cut out the performance. This is wait. So here, down here. So this is in this graph here, top 2 here. this is for one top only. So we're looking for top 2. So the black parts is the training set. So in any so we use it to train, and the test set is not used for training, and the blue is using this SARIMA prediction, and then we this is like generated. So far it's close to the test set. So it's like if we were to do the prediction on 2016, this is the prediction, and if it were to go out, the test set will be not far off. So this is I would say it's a good prediction because it's not far off from the trend. And so I did one by one actually, the top 1 and top 2 and top 3. So this is top 3, and then this is top 2. This is top 2. And then this is the top 1. It's just not there because I emphasize on top 1 because it has the special seasonal effects, because the model is preferred to be used on a seasonal type of data. So top 1 here has no seasonal effects, but this is the prediction. So it's not far off from the I would say from the actual performance. And this one is for top 3 prediction for the third top. So we can see that it did capture the seasonal effects, and it did end up going down back at the end of the year. So it's like I could say it somewhat resembles the actual performance.
Okay, and you use the SARIMA model for all the 3 tops.
Yes.
All right. So, like I understand, okay, this is the first time that you're trying out time series analysis,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And with regards to this, did you attempt any other models as well?
Oh, so actually it's let me stop presenting. It's lagging. Okay, so actually it's like this, because it took me quite some time to get a hold of it, and then so far that was actually the last as much as I managed within the time frame.
Okay, sure. All right, moving on from the challenge questions. Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what's the work that you've done, your experience?
Okay, so my experience is more to deep learning methods. More the data will be more of a classification. So if it's like so my most recent work is applying machine vision on X-ray images. So we are working with Formema Sdn Bhd. That is like a screening company. What they do is they want to screen the X-ray images, whether you are healthy or you have complications. So they want to automate the system, automated the process using an AI system. That means we have to provide an API for them to access to their system by giving in the image and then replying with the probabilities of healthiness and abnormalities in within the images. So we have to work from scratch because they have no no knowledge of it, and they have no team that is dedicated for AI. So I'm working as the graduate research assistant. I have to convert those the business concept into actual AI workflows, the pipelines. So I designed the whole pipeline from start to the end. So starting with the pre-processing of the images, and then standardization, and then I will train the models and implement it in and then how the application is used. So I would apply Flask app as a microservice. It's a system for a microservice that we can use it as you could say it's a server. It's a microservice that can be placed on a server that will take the incoming data and process it using Python. And also inside Flash app, we embedded the AI, and then from the Flash app, it will return a REST API. Like standard REST API response, and then they will get automatically the results. But Flask needs to be contained in a Docker environment because Docker is required to contain all the libraries, because these machine learning libraries are very strict, and we need to freeze all the dependencies inside the Docker files. So we provided them the Docker files that will have all the dependencies as a package. So now they have the product. They can just put it online in the container like Kubernetes or Google Cloud or maybe Alibaba Cloud. They are still looking for which one is the best, but it's an end-to-end product. So that is my experience in image recognition systems, and I have edited, like I have it's the handling about 50,000 images, high resolution images, about 5,000 to 6,000 pixels. So we need to like pre-process it to make it lighter and make it more efficient, because higher resolutions are very heavy processing. So everything will add to costs. So they have their business constraints. We follow that. So that is one part of it. So if you
Okay, so with regards to the specifications for the project, were you the one who was involved with talking to the stakeholders?
uh, it's like mostly it's starting is me and my supervisor. So we are a two-man team actually. So
Okay.
my supervisor is a professor, associate professor. So she is more to like she does more of the negotiating, but everything will come down to me because she has no prior knowledge of developing any system. So if she were to use MATLAB only, and that's not really deployable, so I will have to uncover everything to make sure it works in their environment and it's flexible, and also not
Okay.
involving any paid services.
All right. So can you tell me a little bit about the pipeline structure that you use for this project?
Okay, so the pipeline structure use first we have to pre-process the images, because the images they have this because it's not really clean even though it's X-ray images, but sometimes the patients are not aligned well, and then sometimes they are not standing straight, maybe a little bit bent to the left and right. So first we will cut off the parts exactly at the chest, from the neck to the chest, using a model. Just to capture that, we use YOLO v5. So we train a model to detect just the that area only, just the area of the chest, and then we crop it off, and then after cropping it off, we need to also adjust the bit depth, because the colors are not really because it's actually 16-bit colors, so it's even though it's just black and white, but it's actually having different depth, so it's not standardized. So we
Yes.
reduce that. So we do the depth. It's like it's the dynamic range they call it. So it's like
And in terms of getting the images, was it processed in batches or is it processed on demand?
It's processed in batches because it's about 50,000 plus the images. So what we need to do, what I did was to reduce time in processing, because if we don't reduce the size immediately, we'll be processing the images like 5 seconds an image, and that is very slow. So we reduce the size of the resolution first, compressing it first, because we know in the end the image is 240 pixels only. So that's the size of the input of the detection model. So we divide it by 4 first, because we don't want to lose too much features, and then after that we use multi-threading to use all threads, because sometimes it's like we're just using one thread, and it'll do it one by one, since we have multiple cores in our computers. So I utilize all 16 cores. So that way we can speed up all these processes, and then we use it
Okay.
for training.
All right. So, yeah, the rest of the
Pipeline.
pipeline.
Okay, so after we have done all the training, we will produce the model. So after, so back from the, we after cropping it. So this is the pre-processing part. After cropping, we reduce the size even lower to the model size, that is 240 times 240. And then we put it into this convolutional neural network. So that's another model, the second model. So the second model uses a custom CNN that is a hybrid of the VGG16. So we are using transfer learning because it's better to start with something that is already proven to be good. So we tried also custom convolutional neural networks, but they're not really we don't really have enough data to train it well. So we decided to go with the transfer learning, the VGG16. So that one is like a pre-processing part of the deep learning part, the CNN part, and then we applied different sizes of neural networks after the CNN. So this is a fully connected neural network. And then after that, we will use a softmax output to divide some probabilities of either if it's normal or not normal. And then back to the API. So the API will return the response back to the receiver, the sender.
Okay. So the entire pipeline was something that you built,
Yes, I built the
and
entire pipeline.
this is all with to run locally within
Uh,
the Docker container.
yes, locally within the Docker container. The reason why we use Docker containers is because it can be deployed in the clusters. So later they can deploy, they can scale, it's scalable. So if it can do one, it
Okay.
can do as much as it can.
All right. Will you be involved in the deployment later on of
Deployment?
the containers
Oh,
as well?
no, actually, I stopped there. We've given them the Docker container, so they are deploying it in Alibaba Cloud. But that is their choice of because it's cheaper probably. But so far, my part is stopped to the development of the container, and then once the container is done and tested, we test deploy on Cloud Run only. So Cloud Run is like a very simple version of Kubernetes, but it can go up to 100 instances. So if there were a lot of traffic coming in, so it will split into 100 instances, and it can provide at least 100 customers per about 100 customers at once.
Okay. So beyond this one, have you had any other experiences in terms of deploying applications?
Okay, so I'm also a full stack developer, freelance. So I use Laravel to develop apps. So I have my own private servers. So I manage a certain amount of servers, amount of systems. So these systems are deployed in my VPSs, but these are not AI systems. So they are more to PHP systems. So it has different techniques how to manage with them. So I deployed on a virtual private server. I'm using Exabyte. So they have like I can put like 10 sites there. So I manage them for all the customers, but that's very it's I mean like that one has been ongoing. It's just now it's just maintenance, like only they're calling like if it's for something something mundane. It's like they don't even know how to log in or something. So it's just very minor support. So but I have experience deploying full scale Laravel apps, and my latest project is with Hightech Padu. So this is for the CEO and COO to manage the projects that are running. So what they want to do is they want to see a dashboard full of information. In fact, if you're interested to see, I can show you right now. I have a
Yeah, sure.
development server.
Okay.
So they're still using my development server here because I'm not sure they are taking too long to ask for their own servers. But this one is lead. I already transferred this project to my brother, so he is now in charge. So this is the overall summaries of all the projects in the company. For now, this is one sector, a certain portion. They call it the core one. So they have 56 projects, and then they separate it into managed services, applications, and then here we can see the resources. How many resources? Resources are employees that are active in this certain project. So dedicated means that they are very dedicated, 80% in one project, and 66 is like shared between 2 or 3 projects. And then we have the total values of all the projects, the billing amounts. So all this information is provided from each project. So this is a compilation of the dashboard. So we can try here going into internal security. This is a sector. So this is a sector summary. So here is the projects. So we can try, let's say here in JPN, okay, JPN. So this is one of the project's information all in one place. And before this, it was actually the summary of all the projects because the CEO doesn't want to know all those information. So what they want is just, this is too detailed, they call it. So this is for the project managers to see. So all this information comes from not manually inputted. So this project utilizes a system that read Excel files. So these Excel files, there are 6 Excel files actually. So all these Excel files will have all the information. What they do is they update the Excel file and then they upload it in this system, and this system will find the important parts in these Excel files. So let's say the resources. I have, so if they uploaded this Excel file, so these are all the information within the Excel file, and if they update anything inside the Excel file, then they could just upload again and it will be updated in the system. So this is to reduce manual inputting, but we still have some things that need to be manually input, like the contact information, person, but this is only the one-time thing.
Okay, so with regards to this project, you did the dashboard as
The
well
whole thing.
as the back end. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
the whole thing.
Okay. And in terms of the database or databases that you have worked with, what are the types of databases that you've worked with?
This one is using the standard MySQL database, and then I also have this problem where they ask to keep JSON files. So each project having a certain amount of JSON files. Like this part is like a whole table. So I can't really save a whole table inside the normal MySQL database. So I used JSON encoded and then save it as a text file instead. But I'm not really familiar with other solutions to this. But that is one of my original solutions, is to save it as a JSON file, and so it's like a file system.
Okay, and this sits within your own server, but not deployed to the client server yet.
Because they are still requesting for the servers. So this is what you can see inside the server. So so I manage these servers, and there's a lot of this is a VPS. VPS can hold a lot of websites. So as you can see, there's a lot of websites inside my VPS. So everything is in the Laravel file actually. So it's like I manage it through here. So the databases are the typical normal database, the PHP MySQL. Because I'm not really experienced with other databases, but in this job, all I did was like design, get the business model, how do they want it to work, and then make it into a viable product, and then they will show to their CEO and then get approval, and then we can proceed to producing the whole system.
Okay. And in terms of programming languages, what would you be most comfortable with, or what have you worked with?
Okay, so my AI part, I'm more comfortable in doing using Python since I'm not really I don't have much experience in R, but I don't really mind going to any kind of programming language because I jumped into Laravel because it's just like if it's popular, it's supported, you can find a lot of references. So you need to ask if it's good to use, but if it's like in, I really don't mind in jumping into newer languages because I'm not really a master in the particular ones, but it's on a need to know basis. It's like if I need to know it about it, if it if it is required, then will go into it. So my experience involved in PHP. This is using Laravel. I've been using Laravel for about 4 years right now. So Laravel is a framework that uses PHP and Blade. So PHP
Okay,
and Blade.
and with Python, how many years of experience?
So with Python, I'm using while I'm doing my masters. That is 3 years, developing two systems, end-to-end solutions. So my masters is actually on sound detection. It's more of a what call it, signal processing. So my masters is signal processing, but along the way, I'm also doing part-time jobs as a research assistant, doing the machine vision part.
Okay, so within data science, the aspects of data science that you've had experience with would be more computer vision
Computer vision and signal processing. That is,
and
I
signal
would say,
processing,
I
right?
would have strong knowledge of
Audio detector, audio
audio detection.
detection,
Yes,
right?
but you see, I conclude that all these information are in the end is like it must be converted into numbers, and in the end, it's just numbers. So it's more like the embedding layer that will we need to like tailor made the embedding layer. Let's say from this information, from sound it needs to be into numbers, from images into numbers, or let's say words. If it's sentiment analysis, I do have some knowledge of that sentiment analysis. It will end up into numbers too. So yeah, anyway, can be we can funnel it into deep learning anyway. So it's like in the end it's just numbers and predictions.
Okay, so where would you,
Sorry.
what is the current trend in terms of like within data science field? Because obviously data science covers and AI covers a lot of things, but what is the lead? Let's say if you've tried something recently, or you've tried learning something recently, what would that be?
The recent one, I'm pretty sure it's about the blockchain, but I don't see the relation between. But it's mostly most on data analytics and processing data to find insights. So, but machine vision is also because I'm not really sure which one is the most. But probably sentiment analysis is very popular now because we have social media that have too much information that we need to uncover all the things. I would say sentiment analysis and NLP is like quite popular now.
Okay. Uh, have you worked with teams before within a team?
Within a
Because I
team.
know you were saying that you are a full stack developer, so I understand that perhaps most of your projects have been solo projects. Have you worked within a team or
Yes.
managed a team?
So far, I have managed my small team actually, but in a way, I am still doing most of the parts, 50%. But I will delegate some parts to my brothers and sisters. Actually, I have my little brother, so I force him to study so I can teach him, and also delegate some parts of the jobs. So let's say the front end parts, and then the calculations, fixing those small bugs, so that so I will put it back together. So I have my little sister. So I wouldn't say I have professional team working, but I do delegate work like front end work I will uh, give it to my little sister, and then my little brother will do the other processing parts of the Excel part. So I will put them together into one piece and then deliver to the customers.
All right. Okay. And with regards to why would you, because you've been doing full stack development up to now, and then uh, but now you're looking at the position within as a data scientist. So
Oh.
why the change or the move?
It's just I want to go into it's like this. My current job is revolving around the normal programming work, so it's not really going to data science. So I want to go into a company that has a strong team, that is a good senior that can show me better. So it's like if I can find better practices instead of right now mostly I am the leader. So if I believe that is good, it's not really actually the best practice of the in the world, but it's just passable. So I'd rather have a professional senior that can actually show me into the data scientist field. So this full stack thing is only a side hustle, because since then I was just doing side work while I'm doing my master's actually. So it's not
All
really
right.
full. Yeah, you understand.
Okay. What is your learning process when you're trying to learn when you're trying to learn a new concept? For example, with the data science challenge, maybe you can talk about what was the process, because you said you've not tried time series analysis before. So
Uh-huh.
if you can go through your process for uh, how do you approach
Okay.
learning that?
So my approach is, first is I will find a similar problem in a video or a tutorial somewhere in GitHub, because I need a sample that works first. So I will find a GitHub project that is open source somewhere, or maybe someone did a tutorial somewhere. So there we replicate the code and then apply it to different sources. It's like they have their own example code. So first, I understand with their own data, and then do the process, and manage and see how they do the process, and then I apply a different data set within the same code, and then adjust what is needed, like the shape, maybe settings of the shapes, or the what how the data needs to be able to train it, because sometimes shapes are different. It's like because images is like it needs to be 3 channels, and audio is 2D, but most data like most most machine learning is supervised, is the normal 1D array and then a target label or clustering. So this one is a is clearly like a label thing. So I need to understand how we apply that type, and then put in the new data, of course. So running it through, and then just debug all the problems bit by bit, and then if there's any problems in between, I will check back from the start. It's like you need to check back step by step. So that's why, if you notice, my Jupyter notebook is like in chunks, because it's like it's better to check one piece at a time, and then we can trace back. So that's how I've been studying all these other coding languages.
Okay, so projects that you've done during your master's, if
Hmm?
you can share like any of the projects that you've done during your master's.
So during my masters was first the X-ray vision, and then my masters is also the sound event detection. But I'm also helping my dad. He's a mechanical engineer, so he wants me to study the embedded systems, the microcomputers, IoT. So I had to study electronics too, how to embed system inside. So yeah, the learning process is still the same, but in the end, it's like we can still produce the product. So I had to study electronics, IoT, communications. They have a lot of protocols and then voltages. So those are I feel like even it's out of my job scope, but I still managed to produce it. So that is to provide a C probe, a probe that will check the wave strength, because he was collecting data on how strong is the wave for a generator. If you were to make a wave generator, how
Or-
you need to analyze the waves, how strong is the current over time.
Okay.
So
Now, I will leave it at that for the moment. Do you have any questions that you like to ask?
mm, I'm sorry, I'm quite lost. But so far no.
Okay. Uh, Anything with regards to uh, the work scope or whatever? Do you have any
Yes.
other questions?
Correct. So this is what I expect of the job scope will be, is like as if in assuming that the challenge you gave me, I'm assuming that the job scope will be around revolving in cleaning the data and then end up applying multiple models and not just this one, of course. So is that correct? Is my perception of it, is that how it works?
Okay. Within Omni, basically, we have got, broadly speaking, three teams. So we have got with the category and match team deals a lot more with computer vision and NLP. So with the category team, that's where they are doing labeling of images as you would expect. Uh, and then you're working through various taxonomies about, how do you categorize various fashion items, for example. But within dashboard intelligence, we are more involved with the actual productioning and of the dashboards that are used by our clients. So it's slightly more software development as opposed to hard data science. You do need to know the data science aspect because you do need to know the models. Uh, and then you need to be able to, what we do is we create a module for the dashboard which generates, auto generates insights based on whatever, data trends, sellout numbers, sales, or replenishing patterns, for example. So we do trend performance analysis, we do time series analysis. We don't handle so much computer vision. We don't do computer vision and we don't do NLP. That's
Yes.
done by the other two teams within Omni. Uh, for us, it's more on predictive analytics as well as time series analysis and building up the APIs that will be used for the dashboard. So we are a little bit more, as a team, slightly more engineering heavy. Hence, I had left it open as, okay, if you are a software developer who is looking to transition to data science, that is a possibility for a fit within our team as well. Because as much as you need to know the data science, you need to know about the deployment and production aspects of uh, creating a software, basically a data product. All right. But having said that, Omni is, I from what I understand, the other teams are also hiring. So hence, do you always get the open question of, okay, what aspect of data science are you more interested in? For example, if you are more interested in deep learning and computer vision, then probably the category team or the match team would be a better fit. for example, because we don't do that kind of work,
I understand that.
and we obviously we don't, you know, we wouldn't want to get to a point where, let's say, we bring it in, and the expectation is that you get to learn about these models with regards to possibly utilizing CV and deep learning and your CNNs, and then you find that within our team you do a lot less of that, and actually a lot
The,
more on
I
having
understand that.
to develop and create and build the data products itself.
Data product. Yeah, I understand that. So it's
Yes,
like so I would say technically it's just like doing the product that I did before for image, but instead it's for the trends analysis and then returning the predictions.
that's right.
Uh, but I actually don't have any problems because I mean like I've been into deep learning for those types of things, so it's like I really don't mind whatever job scope it is, but in the end it's still AI. So in fact, time series. I'm also investing in stocks, so this is also good. I mean, like good exposure to the time series thing because time series is everywhere. So people wanting to predict the stock market, also sales. Everything needs to be. I would say a lot of the most used predictions are more on time series compared to vision or NLP because it's more accurate compared. It's just like if it's NLP, it's like it's even though you got Twitter millions of Twitters and the insights, it's still very subjective, you know. But this time series is, I would say it's used in a lot more regions than actually other so it's the most popular I believe it's so I really don't mind diving into this subsection of AI, but I understand
Okay.
that so
Yeah, because
if you
understandably DS is very, very large. Then also in terms of what is your understanding of, what do you know of the work that we do in Omnilytics, or what do you think Omni does?
so technically what you just said I believe that it was the job scope. So we're mostly like we're creating a data product that will take the current information and providing also the dashboard that to show it too. So it's like half with the dashboard development and also applying the data science within the system. Is that correct? Okay. Right.
Yes, but I think because the dashboard tends to be quite a very big product, so we do have our
Modules,
a
yes.
software engineering team that is dedicated to building out the dashboard. But all the
Oh,
APIs for the
they
data
are
that goes
focusing.
into the dashboard are created by us. However, the front end itself is done by a separate dashboard engineering team.
Mm.
Okay, uh, and of course, obviously, the industry that we are working in is the fashion industry, and so what would your thoughts be about
The fashion
doing
industry.
analytics? Yes, within
Oh,
the fashion industry.
I would say it's I mean like we're not going to go anywhere else. It's just in the end it's just a data job, you know. I don't really mind. In fact, I'm the type of person that would wear red or yellow pants. So I don't know
Okay.
that, and there's no effect of course. It's just that I really don't mind the whatever genre the work is, but technically it's more of a preference thing. But I don't believe there is any problems with that.
Okay. Uh, for you personally, in terms of working, right? What do you think makes you effective? What's the kind of environment that makes you an effective team player or worker?
So I would say since I've talked to Eddie just before, I really like the idea of working from home and flexibility is like as long as the job is done. Uh, so commuting is to me is not really efficient and very unresourceful, you know. So as long as I have the environment of uh, flexibility, but also with good support, let's say I need also a good senior that will able to guide me, but I'm not really counting on the guidance to be thorough because I'm able to move my with my I mean like move along alone, because that's how I've been doing it all along. But I really want to go into that situation where you have at least an expert with better knowledge compared to whatever you are just jumping into in the internet, because it might be good, it might be bad, so we don't really know. So the sources in the internet is not really always the best choice. So a good senior, so that's how I believe that a good understanding senior that can teach me sometimes. I'm not expecting too much, of course, but I would rather have something like that and the flexibility of working. That would make me very, very, very productive.
Okay. And then in terms of time management, because I think I'm sure Eddie has told you that we have what is called a results oriented work
Yes.
environment. So very much, yes, we don't clock in. We're not 9 to 5 in that sense,
Yes.
and a lot of it has to do with
The results.
the results
Yes.
and the deadlines that are provided to
Uh,
you.
so,
And
mm,
yeah, so can you have you had experiences where
yes.
in this aspect?
So in my aspects, like since I've been working part time and as a research assistant, there is no clocking in, and sometimes they will just tell me I have to work at night in the weekends. But I have the flexibility of other times. So it's like the job will come in any time, and I have to finish it on time because they have an agreement with the industry. So far that's how my
Okay,
I would say my that's how I've been working all along. So I would say it's a good fit.
all right. Okay, and so with regards to you've completed your masters already.
Yes, I have completed it. So the Senate letter has just been about 22nd of March. So I would say I have officially completed.
Okay, and you are based in Malaysia, right? Obviously,
Yes,
and
Shah Alam actually.
okay, all right. Let's that and okay. If unless you have any questions for me, I think that would be the end of the interview. Uh, we are still at the beginning or the early stages of it, uh, and I understand from Eddie that you have put your availability as immediate. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Uh, I think we should close out a decision within the next 2 weeks or so, and hopefully have someone starting in May, by at the start of May. So, do you have any other questions?
So far, no, but I would say thank you for time. It's been an hour. I mean, like, yeah, your time is much more precious than mine because I'm like unemployed right now.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, thanks for uh, changing the date as well. Sorry
No
about that.
problem.
That we shouldn't have
Yeah,
done
you
that.
know,
All right.
we unemployed people.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And then I think I will leave it to Eddie to follow up with you.
Okay, thanks
All
again.
right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hope to see you again.
Bye. See you.